hardest thing you can do in any social situation is to go quiet. Not the loudest person in the room, the quietest one. Because here's what's happening when you stay quiet and you stay silent. You disappear. Conversations move on without you. Decisions get made without your input, and people form opinions about you, not based on what you said, but based on the fact that you have said nothing. And silence in most of the social situations reads as agreement, disinterest, or even worse. It reads as having nothing to offer. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Olga Benyaminov, and this is Limitless Live. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I want you to think about a moment in the last 30 days when you had something to say and you didn't say it. Maybe it was in a meeting, maybe it was a conversation at a dinner party, and maybe it was with someone you were trying to impress and you held back because you were afraid of saying the wrong thing. Because this month, the month of August, we're going to talk about social life. And part of social life is that communication. And communication is so important because if you think about that moment where you just went silent or didn't say anything, I want you to think, how did it feel? Because I'll tell you how it feels from the outside. When you go quiet in a social situation, people think you are not thoughtful. They don't think that you're mysterious. They actually move on. And the opportunity to be known, the opportunity to be heard, or even to contribute is now gone. Today is about getting that opportunity back. Today is your permission slip. Today we're going to talk about your voice and what it actually means to use it, and about exactly when and how to start. I want to start with the psychology of social silence because Bob Proctor spends decades studying why people do what they do. And one of his most foundational ideas is the concept of self-image. The internal picture that you hold of who you are, what you are capable of, and what you actually deserve. Your self-image determines everything. Your posture in the room, whether you introduce yourself or do you wait to be introduced, whether you speak first or do you wait for someone to speak to you first, whether you share your idea in a meeting or just sit with that idea while someone else is saying the same exact thing 10 minutes later. Because here's the thing about self-image that most people don't understand. It is not fixed. It was built over years of experience, feedback, and years of stories that you told yourself about who you are. And it can be rebuilt. Because most people who stay quiet in a social situation are not quiet because they have nothing to say. They are quiet because their self-image told them their voice doesn't carry any weight. Maybe it came from your parents who told you that to be seen and not to be heard. Maybe it came from a teacher who embarrassed you in front of your classroom. Or maybe it came from a time where you spoke up and felt rejected for it. That experience created a belief. The belief created a habit, and that habit is now keeping you invisible in rooms where you should be present. Bob Proctor's principle is you will never outperform your self-image. You will always act in a way that is consistent with who you believe yourself to be. So the first step in using your voice is not learning what to say. It's to change who you believe you are. You are someone whose voice matters, whose perspective adds value, and who deserves to be heard. Not because you earned it, not because someone gave you permission, but because you decided it. The decision is the beginning of everything. And Dale Carnegie, if you know about him, he talked about speaking first. Dale Carnegie wrote about human connection for decades. And one of the most consistent patterns he observed was that people who shape the room, people who influence others, and those who become magnetic in social situations, they didn't wait. They spoke first. Not loudly, not obnoxiously, but they initiated. They introduced themselves before being introduced. They asked the question before being asked. They made the comments, broke the silence, and started a conversation. And why does it matter? Because who speaks first actually sets the tone. When you walk into a room and you initiate, even something as simple as what brings you here tonight, you immediately position yourself as someone who is present, as someone who's confident and interesting, because people respond to that. Dale Carnegie also understood the psychology of the other person. Most people at social events are more nervous than they look. They are also waiting for someone to speak first. They are also hoping for someone to include them. The person who steps into that gap becomes instantly the person that people gravitate towards. Think about the most magnetic people you've ever met. The ones who made you feel comfortable the moment you walked in. What did they do? They probably greeted you before you could even greet them. They asked about you. They made you feel belonged. And that is not a personality type. That is a choice. That's a skill. And Carnegie's entire body of work is proof that it can be learned. You don't have to be the life of the party. You don't have to be extroverted. You have to just be willing to speak first, once. And that's the entry point. Now, there are 3 specific moments to use your voice this week. And here's what makes it real. It's not a theory, it's not a philosophy. This week, I want you to do 3 specific moments where I want you to use your voice. Moment 1, the opening. The next time you walk into a gathering, doesn't matter if it's a party, a networking event, a family dinner, a work meeting, you speak first. You introduce yourself to someone you don't know. Or you can just say hello to someone who stands alone. You make the first move. Not after 5 minutes of walking in. Right away, in the first 60 seconds. The second movement I want you to make is the opinion. At some point this week, you will be in a conversation where someone asks you what you think. Or where no one asks you, but you have something to add. I want you to say it. Not the safe, vague answer. Your actual perspective. I want you to say it clearly and confidently. And this is where your voice builds. Not in the easy moments, but in the moments where you feel this slight pull to just stay quiet and you choose to speak anyway. The third moment, the thank you. This one surprises people. The most underused form of voice is directed, genuine appreciation. This week, look someone in the eye and tell them specifically what they did and what it meant for you. Not just a thank you for everything. Be specific. When you did this, it meant that to me. And watch how it lands. Watch what that does to your relationship with that person. 3 moments. This is your whole assignment. It's not a complete personality overlook. It's not becoming someone you're not. 3 specific moments where you learn how to speak your voice. You lean into your voice instead of pulling back from it. And here's what I want you to remember from today. Your voice is not an extra. It's not a bonus feature. It's a primary way that you show up in the world. It's the way people know you exist. It's the way you influence the room that you walk into. It's the way you build relationships, the community, and the life that you actually want. Silence has a place. Listening is also a skill, and we'll talk about this throughout the month. But silence by default, staying quiet because you're afraid, because you don't think that you matter, and because you're waiting for the right moment, that never comes. That kind of silence costs you everything. The month of August is a social life month. We'll talk about community and communication, and it starts here with you deciding that your voice is worth using. So this week, speak first. Share your opinion. Give a specific thank you. 3 moments. That's it. Next Monday, we're going to talk about who you need to have in your life and how to build your tribe intentionally. Because your voice is powerful, but it is even more powerful in the right rooms. And before you go, if today hits home for you, if someone needs to hear this, please share it with them. And if something is just cracked in you, I want you to know that there's so much more available for you. And if you're ready to own your voice, today was about the courage to speak up. The fastest path to real, lasting confidence in your voice is deliberate practice. And in the room that actually builds that. Exceed Learning Center offers public speaking course. It starts in September and it's 3 levels. We have the crash course, which is just 3 sessions of 2 hours each, and that gives you an intro to public speaking. But we also have the full course, 3 levels. Each level is 4 weeks, and we'll teach you what it means to speak up. Reach out to me or look at the link in the bio. Come check it out. Message me directly because I'm right here for you. And I'll see you back again Monday. And until then, use your voice and stay limitless.